Hi guys. All of a sudden around HaiPhong, the city rental bikes have appeared. And I don't know if they're just seasonal, they only put them out after the rainy season, or if they're brand new. But I got the app, I downloaded it, and I'm really excited about them because I brought my helmet with me from home, and it kind of cuts my commute to work in half. So I'll show you the bikes. These are the city bikes, and what's genius about them is you just have to park them. You do need a parking spot, but you don't have to push them into a dock. You just have to park them. So I'm assuming if all the parking spots are full, you could probably just park it right next to the bikes, because as I said, you don't push it into a dock the way you do in New York and other cities. All you do is you open up the app and it unlocks the back here with this QR code, and this unlocks. Let's see if I can show it while I'm doing it. Okay, so I couldn't show it while I was doing it because it needed my camera, but this, when I scanned the QR code in my app, this thing slid from the down position to the up position, and now the bike is unlocked. So I'm just going to adjust the seat, and I'm going to get on my bike. It has a basket here for my backpack, and it also has this phone holder, which really holds just about any size phone. So I guess I'll try taping myself for a little bit while I'm riding. Okay, I'm on the bike now, and also I bought a new external microphone, so that should help with the sound a little bit. And as I said, it cuts my commute to work in about half, because the docking station that I just showed you is just down the street from my house. It's like a block, like 1 or 2 minute walk. Then the other docking station it's not all the way at work, but it's more than halfway to work. I can drop off the bike. About 2/3 of the way to work, I can drop off the bike, and then I just have a 5-minute walk left. So this is really going to change my life. I'm excited about this. I love a city rental bike. I'm not actually going to work today. Today's my day off. So I'm going to this cute little coffee shop that my friend found. It's called Treehouse Coffee. I'll show it to you when I get there. And I'm going to sit there, eat my breakfast, and try to post some videos today. Also, I really am only riding the bikes on the sidewalk. That's the sort of promenade that I showed you, that's kind of along the main courtyard of town. It's a sidewalk and there's hardly any people walking on it. I don't really feel comfortable riding in the street, and other people ride bikes on the sidewalk. Not many, but I see a bike occasionally. So I'm just going to stick to this main promenade here with the bikes. Okay, so I got to the bike docking station, and apparently they're doing some work on this docking station. They are painting on the stripes, it looks like. So all the bikes are over here, but as you can see, again, as I said, you don't need to push it into a certain slot, so I'm just going to leave it here. And what I did was I pushed the lock, it was unlocked, I pushed it to locked. Now I'm going to go into the app and scan it again and finish my ride. They are 1-speed bikes. I thought they were, I thought they had gears, but it turns out this is just a bell. So they're single-speed bikes. And now I'm going to walk the rest of the way to the Treehouse Cafe. The rental bike was 5,000 Vietnamese dong, for up to 30 minutes. You can also buy a one-day pass for unlimited rides for, I believe, 50,000 dong, which is about $2. There's also a monthly option available. I don't expect to look into any of those. I think the single rides for 5,000 Vietnamese dong will probably work out for me. That's about, I don't know, 20 cents. I'm riding in a taxi. I just wanted to show you this crazy drive here. It seems particularly busy today. Okay, I'm at Treehouse Coffee, where I told you I was going. It's my day off, and I came here to sit and just get some work done during the day. And I just wanted to show you this cute cafe. There are like thousands of cafes in this city, and they're always all full of people, but there's a lot of really nice, cute ones. And my friend Haley, Canadian, who's here in HaiPhong, she found this one. We met here once, so I came back today. I just want to give you a little tour. It's so cute. Here's the room I'm sitting in, this front room. And there's a view of the lake. It's right on this lake. This is what lakes look like in Vietnam. This one is okay, but they usually have a lot of trash around them and mostly pretty dirty. Anyways, this is the outside of Treehouse Cafe. There's all these cute little places to sit. There's even a cozy couch there. So this is all outside. And then this is the inside. It's very empty. It's the middle of the day, but I don't know how they stay in business, but hopefully they do a better business on weekends and evenings. And this is the counter where you order. And here's where I'm sitting again. So that's Treehouse Cafe. Okay, so I know everybody wants to hear about my teaching here in Vietnam, because after all, that is what I came here to do. But is it really what I came here to do? Which is part of the problem. I'm just like working all the time. It's way too much work. It's a really hard job. It's definitely full-time plus. And so when I was looking to come here, you know, my agency was like, oh, come to Vietnam. Teachers only have to work 20 hours a week there. It's a relaxed, low-key pace of life. People don't work that hard there. Well, the one thing that I had going for me was that having been a teacher already, I knew that wasn't true. I knew teaching is really hard. And yes, you only work 20 hours a week, but the truth is, it's just that here you teach your 20 hours and then you don't have to be in the building except for the times you're teaching. Whereas in the US, you just had to be in the building for 38 hours a week. But the truth is, 20 hours of teaching, well, it's about an hour of prep for each hour of teaching. Plus, there's other administrative duties like grading tests, and here we have to fill out all sorts of comments about the students. So it ends up being like more than 40 hours a week. And so I'm working a lot, which is why I haven't posted any videos recently. I've just been too busy. So the way it works is there's a lot to, hold on, back up. There's a lot to say about the teaching. So this is going to be one of those videos where I mostly just sit here and talk. So those of you who don't enjoy the videos where I just sit here and talk, you probably want to skip this one. Okay, so during the week, the teaching hours are from 5:30 till about 9:30 p.m. On weekends, Saturday and Sunday, they hold classes all day, starting at 7:45 till 8 o'clock at night. So I work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in the evenings. Thursday and Fridays are my days off, and then I work on Saturdays and Sundays. So the thing is, the classes are ridiculously long. The classes are either an hour and a half or 2 hours each. My students are from age 3 up to about age 17. And 2 hours is just way too long for these little kids. The majority of my kids are, I would say, 6, 7, 8, 9. So they either have an hour and a half class or a 2-hour class. Now, for me, I do 1 2-hour class and that's it. I'm exhausted. I'm done. I'm ready to go home. On Sundays, they have me doing 3 2-hour classes, and it's killer. On Saturdays, I have 3 classes as well, but one of them is only a 1.5-hour class, and there's a big break in the middle. So I have one class at 7:45 in the morning till 9:45. Then I get to go home, and my next class is until 4. So that doesn't really feel that hard. But Sundays, I have 3 2-hour classes in a row, and it's just killer. Okay. Anyways, so Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, I had 2 classes each evening. So they had me up to 22.5 hours per week. And my contract that I signed says to be full-time, you have to work 78 hours in a month. So I said to them, I really only want the 19.5 hours a week. 19.5, 20 hours a week, I told them. They were giving me 22.5 hours, and it was killing me. So I finally talked them into dropping one of my classes. So they dropped one of my classes on the Monday. So now I'm down to 20.5 hours per week. And on Mondays, I only have 1 class. It's from 7:50 till 9:20. So that almost feels like a day off to me on Mondays. However, when they dropped that second class for me on Monday, they sent me an email saying I needed to be prepared to be on call for emergency cover for that first slot on Mondays. So I was like, great. I mean, I'd rather really have a regular class that I know of than coming in and subbing at the last minute on Mondays. So the first 2 weeks, I didn't get called in. Then something kind of extraordinary happened. A guy at my center, a young kid from Ireland, got appendicitis and had to have an emergency appendectomy here in Vietnam. It was horrible. I really felt for him. He's 28 years old, and he's someone he had never taught before, so he was thrown into this. He just came in August, and he told me the story, but it sounded really scary. He was all alone. He doesn't really know anybody here. He hasn't really made friends. He's not a real friendly guy. But he was throwing up nonstop for like 24 hours. He finally took a cab to the hospital, and they determined that it was appendicitis. There was the appendix. I don't even trust that was necessarily right, but they took it out. So anyways, it was a legitimate excuse. They called me and asked me if I would cover for him on that first slot on Monday. So the third week already, I had a second class on Monday, so I was back up to 22.5 hours a week. This is a lot of detail. I don't know if you can all follow this. That was last Monday, so we'll see. He's home now. He's out of the hospital. His name is Alan. We'll see if Alan makes it in this Monday or if I'll have to cover again. So anyway, the workload is just killing me. I'm basically waking up in the morning and doing lesson prep. I'm working on my prep till like, I don't know, 1 or 2 in the afternoon. Then I try to take an hour off. I either go for a run or I relax, I catch up on Jeopardy or something, and then I leave for work at around 4 o'clock. So I get home at 10, and then, I'm in bed by 12. It takes a little while to unwind and stuff. So basically, I haven't really posted any videos because I've just been working all the time. I'd like to try to show you a classroom and show you some of my students, but I haven't really gotten up the nerve to ask that yet because I'm sure just like in the States, there's all sorts of legality surrounding videoing students. I'll probably have to get permission from their parents, but I have one class in particular that I have in mind. I'd like to do a video with them for you. So the kids, for the most part, are terrific. I have good classes and bad classes, and I have a couple classes that I really like. So there's this one class of kids they're about 12 years old that I would like to interview for the video. The other thing is the class size varies dramatically. So I have a lot of these classes with 16, 18 little kids in them, and it's just too many. 18 kids that are 6, 7, 8 years old. And then I have one that's 16 of the littlest kids, ages 3 through 6. So the other thing is the age 3 through 6, they call it kindy, short for kindergarten. I have them on Tuesday night from 7:50 p.m. till 9:20. Little 3 to 6 year olds. On the Tuesday night, they're there until 9:20, and that's after they went to school for a whole day. And the school day here is from 7:30 till 5. They take a break and go home for lunch at noon. So I think they have maybe an hour and 45 minutes to 2 hours off for lunch in the middle of the day. After a full day at school, these little 3 to 6 year olds come to learn English at 7:50 in the evening till 9:20. And there's a couple of them that are tiny. They're smaller than the others. And I heard that the parents lie about the kids' age, and some of them are actually only 2.5. And they're there till 9:20. It's ridiculous. My kids went to bed at 7 p.m. till they were 9 years old. So just this Tuesday, this past week, one of those little boys, one of the little ones who looks like he's 2.5, he came, he sat down in his chair, and he was literally sleeping. He had his eyes closed, and he was asleep. And I felt so bad. I wouldn't have woken him up, but there's TAs in there with me. I have 3 TAs in my kindy class, so that's good. 3 helpers. And these are Vietnamese people who speak some English. Their English isn't great, but they're mostly studying English in the university, the TAs. So they're young 20-year-old kids who communicate with me in English. So I would have just let that kid sleep. But, the TAs, they're from Vietnamese culture, and of course we're not really allowed to do that. So they were waking him up, making him participate. He did wake up fully and was participating fully and even laughing and such by the end of class. But I just think it's ridiculous that these kids are there that late. Then I have another class of 6 through 9-year-olds, and they just graduated from the one level to another level. So I had them on the Wednesdays from I had them from 7:50 till 9:20. But they finished that level and they graduated up to the next level. And because of that, they went from a 1.5-hour class to a 2-hour class. They now come on Wednesday evenings from 7:40 till 9:40 p.m. The class finishes at 20 to 10 at night. These are kids 6 through 9 years old who have been to school all day from 7:30 till 5. They're coming and learning English till 10 o'clock at night. It's the craziest thing. And again, this week, another boy, he came in, he put his head down on the desk, and he was falling asleep. And they're just falling asleep. You can just see their eyes, they can barely keep their eyes open. These kids are programmed all day long. And like I said, my kids went to bed at 7 o'clock when they were that age. Okay, so in addition to the class size varying a lot, like I said, the level of English varies so much too. I'll have classes of kids who are in the same course level as another group of kids, but they've had much less English and they don't understand anything, whereas the other group I can have a full conversation with. It's just kind of bizarre, but they do try to keep the kids together that are similar levels, even though the courses have the same name. Some of them have more background than others. And I do want to try to show you a class and a classroom. The facilities are quite modern. I have a smart board in every class. Luckily, I used a smart board in the US because, again, they just threw me right in there with no training. And if I didn't know how to use a smart board, I don't know. That would have been kind of hard to figure all that out. Okay, also about the teaching, there were two other women who came here from my orientation group who came to HaiPhong. They're working for the same company but at a different branch. My company has 3 different branches here in HaiPhong. They're at one of the other branches. And the one of them came with me when I came in December, and she has already left. She gave 3 days notice and she fled, and she's in Bali, I heard. I hadn't really heard from her, so but I do know that she left and she's in Bali. And the other woman is my friend Haley, whom I really like. She's Canadian. She's a young 29-year-old. She came about a month later because she had to do her teacher training course here in Vietnam before she started. She has signed a 1-year contract. She has also decided to leave after about 6 months. She's planning to leave in May. Actually, I think she'll only be teaching for 4 or 5 months. She's going to leave in May as well. So, it is tough here. So for now, that's the recap of the teaching experience and why I haven't really been posting videos. Also, I've been doing the videos mostly on my days off, and last week on my days off, I went to Hanoi for my weekend, and I went to see my friend Helen there. I do want to end this video by saying, as much as I'm working too hard, harder than I want or need to work, because the money you earn here is a lot for living in Vietnam. It's not really a lot for bringing back to the United States. So for these hours that I'm working, I'm making about $1,500 a month, which is a king's ransom in Vietnam. My rent is $400, and that includes all my electricity and utilities. So again, I don't need to make that much money while I'm here. So it's more work than I want. But that being said, I do want to say that I really am enjoying the experience despite working too much. I wish I had fewer hours of working. It's been a real growth experience for me. And I have to say, the main thing that I feel has been growth for me is that I have really gone out there and aggressively tried to make friends. And I'm talking about only among other expats. I haven't really tried to make friends with any local Vietnamese people, but I've been, fairly aggressive about making friends at my center with the other teachers and through the network I made from my orientation group. And I feel like I have a little bit of a social life here. There's 2 guys at my center, 2 South Africans, who invite me to go out with them in a group about once a week. And it feels like I have a little bit of a community. And there's a couple other women here and there that I'm friends with as well. And I just feel like it's been a big growth experience for me. I mean, I've had to deal with a lot of different um, hardships and figure out how to get around and figure out how to negotiate my workplace. And all of that, I think, makes it a positive experience for me.